everyone, welcome back to Primetime Crisis. It's time for some more Gotham. I am Captain Logan.
And I am Eric.
And today's episode is called Time Bomb. Eric...
Why?
Because of the... I actually really like that there's not a physical time bomb in this episode.
Is it because of the guy?
Okay, so there are multiple time bombs. As far as people are concerned, things that are, like, people that are about to blow, and relationships that are about to blow.
Okay, you know what? I didn't get that until, like, the second you said that. Yeah, no, okay, you're right.
Because we've been kind of waiting for Riddler to figure out what Penguin is doing, and at the end of this, we're getting closer to that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and we have time bombs that are still in motion.
Well,
or, you know, countdown clocks that are still counting down.
Is it Mario?
Mario.
Falcone kid?
Yeah.
Mario is obviously a physical time bomb, and he blows at the end.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that. And I think it's neat that it opens with a bomb that's not a time bomb, and then if you know what the episode title is, you're kind of waiting for a real
And they have a timer, but it's not a bomb.
And there's a timer with the hand guillotine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I actually think the title's really cool.
Yeah.
For that. Okay, so we've already done in the first 45 seconds of the video, we've already done the title analysis, so we've gotten that out of the way. So we are this is probably kind of as insane as we've gone this season so far.
I think this might be my favorite episode of the season.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think so.
Except for the last 2 minutes.
Because of Mario. Because you just don't... Oh, you Court of the Owls.
No, the Court of the Owls stuff is great.
Oh, okay, okay.
No.
Well, that's in the last 2 minutes. That's the scene before that.
No, the Gordon and,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. We'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll kick to it.
Okay, we're not going to even explain to you why we are losing our minds right now. It's Gotham. Seriously, I don't want to even bring it up yet.
No, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. But I can't picture it! Okay, this is professional. Alright, so where would you like to begin? Should we start with Court of the Owls and Bruce and stuff? Because that's kind of the A story, I suppose. I guess I keep saying that the Gordon stuff is the A story.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know what the A is. Yeah, I think the Gordon stuff is
maybe I can't put things into those kinds of terms anymore, but...
really, I think the A story is the Riddler Penguin stuff.
That's a big thread that
I feel like that makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's just... We always have multiple big stories going on, so, you know, this is one of them. I guess for whatever reason, I didn't expect Bruce to full tilt start investigating and trying to solve his parents' murder case again this early, because we were guessing all kinds of things with that.
He's not. He just kind of fell into it.
No, he did, but like we found an excuse to get him back to that again, and I think he's going to be there for a while again.
Well, I like this immediate response is to try and be like, I didn't break the deal, guys. I didn't. Yeah. I'm still not investigating. I promise.
But like he's working with this rival gang now.
The Whispers.
Something whisper,
Whispers men.
But he immediately. See, I wanted them to be the court of some other kind of bird, you know.
The court of condors.
Yeah, exactly. Where you know there's a talon and they have a condor man. But you remember he has that moment where he's like, you know, I dropped all this, but now I know that there is. That I'm closer to an answer, and so now he's gonna start going after it again. So like all the ideas we had, the predictions we made last episode about his maybe like going in some other directions, like feeling out his childhood and ultimately going off and training and stuff. I don't think that happens now.
At all? Oh, you mean... How we're predicting,
through the season. I think this winds some other direction. Although it still could end with his going off to train after he's. I think we finally fully solved the parents' murder thing this season, though.
Well, and maybe that's what makes him leave.
Or I want to trust him. That we're finally on our way to.
All of this will lead to a point where he's like, I can't handle this. I have to be better to be able to handle this, and then he leaves. I still think we could get rid of him.
Yeah. No, I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, I think so, too. So, Court of the Owls, let's break down the parents' murder mystery thing for a second. We know a lot right now. What is there left? Just motive? Just what exactly the whole deal was? Because, like, is Bruce after an answer more than he's after, more than it's a vendetta right now?
I feel like at this point, nothing is going to satisfy his curiosity.
No.
Like, he knows who killed his parents.
He just wants to...
He doesn't exactly know why.
He knows exactly the person who did it. He knows who hired them now. He knows the organization that hired them.
And maybe that's going to be the character thing, is like, oh, I thought, like, this would mean something when I finally knew.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, like, I don't feel any different. Like, maybe that's where we're going.
Because the thing is, this Bruce Wayne would have to grow up to become a very different kind of Batman, I think, than we're used to. Because... I mean, Batman does go after organized crime, and, like, I mean, it almost would turn him into the Nolan version in a way, because he's not there to stop random violent acts of happenstance that he finds on the street. He's there to, like, try to fix Gotham, solve the bigger problems that are leading to the smaller problems. You know, we have the thing with the the Gotham Great Depression and all of that in those movies. But this also, I mean, it's organized. It's not just like there was a guy who did this horrible thing. I want to make sure that never happens to anyone again.
Yeah.
He would grow up and have a different kind of mission, I would think.
Yeah, he would be. This Bruce has to he's not interested in street crime. He would be interested in the higher level. The people that control the street crime, almost the trickle-down crime kind of a thing. Like, he would go after the people up top because he's seen how it goes down.
Because this isn't a Joe Kill was desperate case. This is, I mean, like, the guy that murdered his parents was a gun for hire.
Yeah. And
was hired by an organized crime group that is... in the underbelly of everything that nobody knows about.
Yeah. Well, and usually
Court of the Owls being behind it really changes the whole dynamic of Batman, I think.
Yeah, because it's not a random crime anymore.
It's a massive conspiracy. At the beginning of the show, and I've said this before, I was really hoping it wouldn't be a conspiracy. I mean, we've made it now, with modern Batman, as popular as Court of the Owls got, kind of the most obvious conspiracy we could make it. Right? Oh, Court of the Owls is behind it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the best things that Jeff Johns did in Earth 1 was it's supposed to be a hit, and then they still get killed by a random person.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think they could do that, but that's really where they should.
The only way they could do that is if, for some reason, that hitman confessed and it wasn't actually him. And I hope they don't retroactively do that.
Yeah, I don't know,
because I kind of like that exchange with him. But anyway,
making the Court of the Owls is so easy.
Yeah.
It just
feels
like the most obvious way to go with that.
I do not love that idea, and the Court of the Owls themselves, they feel weirdly generic.
Yeah, well, part of it's the masks.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The Talon has a Kato costume. Like, there's nothing that makes him.
He just has a Robin Domino mask.
Yeah,
that's like vaguely Talon-ish.
It kind of has a hooked nose. Like, that's it. No, given what we did with Azrael last season. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
How did they not go full tilt with the Talon?
Why would you do Court of the Owls if you weren't excited about Court of the Owls? Because it kind of, again, it feels like just a generic shadow organization to me.
Yeah.
So far, although I really like the actress that plays their leader after that last scene.
Yeah, with Falcone. It's real hard to say Falcone.
I know.
Nolan's programming to say Falcone.
Well, see, you weren't reviewing this show with us at the beginning when we had to say it every week.
Yeah.
And I programmed myself to say Falcone, but it took weeks.
Yeah. Well, and Nolan films have that with me with Roz and Raish.
Yeah.
My brain wants to say Roz. I know Raish is the correct pronunciation.
Well, it's so funny because we're getting off topic, but in Dark Knight, toward the beginning, Harvey Dent pronounces Falcone incorrectly and says Falcone.
Yeah.
And like, when I go back to that movie now, it's not as weird because I've heard Falcone 150 times in this show.
Yeah. But I kind of like the Court of the Owls stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes.
I think it could get really cool. and really interesting.
Yeah, it's all about potential at this point.
But it's starting to, or at least so far, it has felt a little bit to me like they picked it because it was popular a couple years ago.
Well, they absolutely did that. I mean, that is why they did it.
But it could have been like Azrael, where somebody was just excited about it.
Were they?
Well, they were excited to put somebody in a really cool suit.
Well, but they weren't excited about Azrael.
No, that's true.
I mean, we don't know enough about the court. I'll be more interested if it's the ruling class, the rich people like it is in the comics, and like...
I don't know that they'll even go there and tell us anything about it. I don't know that there'll be any kind of commentary about upper lower echelon.
I don't know.
I'm hoping to, and I don't mean to criticize it prematurely because we don't have a lot yet. I'm just saying at the moment it's feeling kind of obligatory. Oh, Court of the Owls was popular a couple of years ago.
Yeah. The Whisper Men, whatever they're called. I don't know if they were a comic book thing.
I don't either.
But where he talked about how the guy has that mask on and it's
like
a Vowel
that
Silence
idea.
thing. I have seen that before.
Okay, I figured you probably
I want to say like 80% chance it's in a Batman thing, but that might just be like a I want to say like an Eastern mysticism, like League of Assassins kind of a thing. So I might have not seen it in a comic book, I might have seen it in something else, but that sounds really familiar to me. So I want to say that comes from something Batman, but I'm not positive. I'm sure someone will tell us. I'm sure.
There's the potential for a big, giant, multi-pronged war between a bunch of different groups toward the middle to end of the season.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, you look at just how many different groups we're dealing with, and it looks like Falcone's about to get back in the game real heavy.
Yeah, well, and with what Barbara's planning, and we'll get to that plot in a little bit.
Then she's a whole separate sect, and of course Penguin is his own.
There's going to be like 4 unrelated wars going on at one time. It's going to be a mad city.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Of course.
I continue...
Is that what she's talking about somehow at the end?
Brink of Chaos?
When she said, yeah, because he looks at me and he goes, wait, we're not already there?
She goes, we're teetering on the brink of chaos. I'm like, we're just now at the brink of chaos?
I was like, that's where I don't even know where you've drawn the line with that. I mean, like, it seems like it might even be slightly more peaceful than it was in first season when Falcone was running things. I'm not sure.
That's kind of like my...
The police department is less corrupt than it's ever been. Can we give them that?
Yeah. That's kind of my thing with the Court of the Owls in the comics, where they're like, oh yes, we've been manipulating things for eons so that Gotham looks exactly how we want it. And I'm always just like, so No Man's Land.
I know, that's exactly where my mind went. I was like, so there are when you put Gotham in a bubble. All the Batman stuff in 52 in a bubble, there were things you conveniently left out of said bubble, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like if Brainiac took the city of Kandor, put it in a bottle, but before he put it in a bottle, he went out like this, and out like this, and out like this.
We're just not going to talk about that. I'm going to say it happened, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But,
people have vague recollections, but anyway.
It's like Big O. You're not going to understand that, right? It's like Paradigm City. Anyways, I continue to like Awkward has no idea how to deal with Girls Bruce. I really like it. I think it's funny. I know why you're laughing.
Well, for a couple of different reasons. I mean, at the same time, let's not pretend like every or even a whole lot of girls are exactly like Selena Kyle.
No, they're not.
And they have consistently done, I gotta give them this, a good job of giving her a teenage version of what I think of as the personality of that character.
Well, and I think
she is teasing him, manipulating him, keeping him on a string all the time.
Well, given their conversation, that's not exactly how I read it. Given the conversation they have this episode...
Well, that's certainly what she wants to be doing, because it makes her feel comfortable.
Well, what I was going to say is because he says...
That doesn't mean that she doesn't have feelings for him.
Well, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
So Bruce says, why did you tell Ivy that we're not together? And she says, why did you tell her that we were? And she says, why can't we just be us?
Yeah.
I think she's someone that's so always on the run... She doesn't like the idea of being tied down anyway.
Oh, it's all about commitment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what she's afraid of. Like it. makes it real. It makes it seem like she has to be somewhere. She has to do something. I don't know if it's so much about yo-yoing Bruce as much as her own insecurities and...
Maybe it's kind of complicated, and that's cool if that's
I mean,
what it is.
She certainly likes making him a little confused, but I think a lot of it is a insecure thing.
Well, that's probably where it comes from, but I still think some of that is there because and some of it could be her not understanding him as much as he's not understanding her. Maybe I mean, she's what I'm seeing as her kind of like stringing him along might be she's saying things, but I don't know if this is it. But like she says things that she thinks anybody ought to understand that he's taking to mean something else. Like he's obvious, and this is a thing that guys will often do, especially younger guys, in relationships where the girl's not interested in the commitment, where she gives him a thread and he takes too much rope.
Right. Yeah.
And so she might be sometimes doing that unintentionally.
Yeah. And I think she's not sure how much she's willing to give. But I think all that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's adorable watching Bruce Wayne squirm. You never get to see Bruce Wayne squirm.
Yeah,
and be really uncomfortable with girls. Like I like that that's a thing that we're doing with young Bruce Wayne. It's really easy to make him, as we've done for 2 seasons, like a really stoic, like, well, this kid is clearly going to be Batman. I like the idea that he's human. And especially when he's younger.
And we've had issues with his acting. I think he's better in scenes with her.
Yeah. I agree.
Generally speaking, I think he tends to be better in scenes with her.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't like that if he wasn't playing it well.
Well, and maybe it's because they're the same age, and like they maybe pal around on set. Like maybe he's just more comfortable with her because she's the only other person that's his age.
Yeah.
Like maybe
they've got to be friends. It's
like
so. In that performance, I feel like maybe we're picking up on that.
Yeah.
You absolutely cracked me up when Alfred asked a question about Poison Ivy.
Yeah, because Selena says something
about that.
Selena says something about her being a girl, and Alfred's like, "Well, she's not quite a girl." And I was like, "Okay, Alfred, I know she looks really nice, but it's crossed the line.
You can't get past.
It was already creepy when you
can't get past Leslie Tompkins.
No, that was creepy there. And it was, and then they that must have been intentional. Because the very next
when
scene,
he leans into her like that,
yeah. She's like, "Does this smell good?" I kind of don't like that she just leaves and immediately gets captured.
Yeah,
I mean, it is kind of consistent with that character, but that felt real easy.
No, you're right. She keeps making those kinds of mistakes.
Yeah, she almost got murdered last episode.
You kind of want to see her learn from it at some point.
Yeah.
And I think maybe she's not going. And if you make a point of that, that can work. If she knows she's doing it and does it anyway, that's a character refusing to change. You can do that.
I did love.
It's not regression yet. But
I did love when Selena and Bruce came in. They're like, how did she disable the alarms? And Alfred's like, let's not worry about that right now.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell if he remembered it or not.
At first, it doesn't seem like he did, and
then he has that line, but like I wasn't sure if it was playing it for the comedy I was reading.
Either way, I think it was supposed to be a joke for the audience.
Yeah, no, it definitely was, but I'm not sure how much of it. It's funnier if he remembers it.
Yeah, no, it's way funnier if he remembers it.
So I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
But I thought all of that stuff was kind of interesting. I'm still enjoying the kind of I last week I described as like Hardy Boys-y kind of thing with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we hadn't done the Core of the Owls thing as quickly. I wish we got another. Wow. I wish we got another episode of them running around being like the Scoobies.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of fun, and then it's immediately a really big thing again.
At the same time, I appreciate that we're not wasting too much time.
Yeah.
We are getting things done in a much at a much brisker pace this season.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel rushed either. It just feels like I don't feel like I'm being teased like I was last season.
Well, and with even with the
and again, it feels like they have some forethought that they didn't have before.
Even with what's probably the next plot we'll talk about is
Yeah.
the Riddler, Penguin, Isabella stuff. That every episode, that relationship has zigged or zagged. Like they have not been stagnant. Like we were worried that they were going to drag out this relationship thing. Every episode, something has changed.
Yeah.
We get somewhere every episode.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's always it always feels like it's actually building.
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to just checking in.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what the show always used to do. It would just check in.
Yeah, it's not like
when are we gonna have a development?
Yeah, every episode we have a development.
Mm-hmm.
All of the plots are always moving, and if they don't have something to move, we just don't have those characters this episode.
And I would say every subplot has a real plot point each episode.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So do you want to talk about the Penguin, Isabella, Barbara?
Eric and I, besides the thing that we lost our minds about earlier that we'll bring up again, that there's no way we'll be able to control ourselves when we get to it again, but just hold on. It'll be okay.
I'm keeping it in.
But I know it's hard. But there were a number of places where Eric and I laughed out loud to the point where we had to be careful we weren't missing dialogue, which is, I mean, such an entertaining episode, and overall the show.
I think that might be why I'm like, this is my favorite episode.
So because 6 or 7 times we just laughed out loud and not at it.
No,
with it.
There were
with it.
The one at the end
is the one we were laughing at. But no. Most of the time, where we uncontrollably lost it was at it, but we were with it every time we just laughed it again.
Yeah. And really, really good dialogue and zingers that are genuinely funny.
Yeah, and I bring it up here, and with Bullock and stuff especially, and we should talk about that when we get to more Gordon.
Yeah.
But
Barbara was funny in this episode.
But I bring it up now with the Riddler and Penguin stuff to in the Butch stuff because of Stocks and Bondage.
Yes,
hilarious.
Oh, it's so great.
And I love how self-aware they are about that all of a sudden, because the bondage thing has been a really bizarre thread.
Yeah. They've got like
motif.
They've got like a fetish thing going on throughout this show, and I'm not sure if it's the staff or someone on the staff likes that, and so they're putting it in the show, or if it's
a really messed up, corrupt city, so they're trying to go to those edgy places.
Yeah, and that feels natural. I'm not sure. I mean, like, Claremont has a lot of weird bondage stuff in X-Men. I'm pretty sure Claremont's into that stuff. And someone asked about it, and Claremont was like, I just thought that was like the darkest place that like somebody could go, but it's a lot of weird bondage stuff in Claremont's X-Men. So I'm not sure if this is which way this goes. I want to lean more towards they think it's kind of seedy, and so they put it in the show. Whereas, like, Claremont's X-Men, that's one guy, and it keeps showing up.
The first time it came up, it was disturbing to me, and not in the way I think they intended it to, because I was in this place at that time, and I don't feel this way as much now, especially because of the fun they're having with Barbara. I used to think, I'll just come out and say this, and I think maybe I have before, I used to think this was a show aimed entirely at men that was kind of sexist. I really used to feel that way about it. I don't have that as much now.
No, they have a lot of good female characters. And there's definitely some sexual stuff there, but like it doesn't feel exploitive.
Yeah, and that's exactly right.
Especially when we go to Stock and Bondage. We're kind of having fun with that flipping it.
Yeah, it was real gratuitous at one time, and I feel like now I've said sobered up a lot this season, and I think that's a place where, again, self-aware, where they're like, okay, we've done this stuff before, we're gonna do it now in this kind of
this is where everyone got it
jokier way, and be like, we get, like, again, the show gets what it is now.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best examples of the show getting what it is now.
That clerk should lose his job, though, right?
Yes.
He had to know that was coming.
How does he not know that's coming?
And it's Gotham. Like,
what he should have said is, okay, you put your head in there.
Yeah. It's Gotham.
I mean, okay, that's weird, but
it's Gotham. Every chick in Gotham is into weird fetish stuff. He sees attractive people all the time. Why is it that she's just, like, flirting? He's like, well, I'm not supposed to do this, but... Oh, no! That's not what he sounded like, but... He's not that nuts.
No, that's the... No, and that's
That'd be funny if it was
that's the nuts. Security guard at the beginning of Batman Forever. My shoes are melting!
Or the,
My hearing aid! It's boiling acid!
But no, that reminded me of what's the one that you always talk about, the weapons supermarket.
Oh yeah, the chop shop. No, not the chop shop. What's it called?
I don't remember.
Anyway,
is it the chop shop?
I can't remember now.
But whatever that is,
yeah,
it reminded me of that.
It did me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a store where you go and you get all your weird fetish stuff.
Yeah, except this stuff wouldn't be illegal.
Yeah. Well, I don't...
the way maybe some of it, but we didn't see everything, but everything they showed us, I don't think any of that would actually be illegal.
Well, the thing that he puts himself in, like...
I don't know why that would be illegal.
Because if you use it, that feels kind of illegal to me. I don't know, there's a weird gray line with some of the stuff where I'm like, well, yeah, but if you put someone in it, that's surely illegal.
Yeah, unless it's consensual. I mean, if it's part of that whole weird fetish thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, people are into that stuff, have all kinds of weird machines and stuff.
They do. I don't think that's legal. I don't know much about that culture. We should do some research.
We should. Once again, that was a joke. Once again, we find ourselves in an uncomfortable and awkward place.
But
we have to talk about things.
It's not he made me watch this time.
Yeah, it's not because you made us watch. No, we make ourselves watch Gotham. We don't even have to make ourselves anymore.
Yeah, no,
I'm really enjoying myself.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
So anyway, I thought that was a great joke. Just the name of that place.
Yeah, and then we go there.
Comes up. Yeah, and that makes it even better. And I didn't expect to go there.
No. Because she just like looks at like a receipt. She's like, stocks and bondage. And I love that stocks and bondage.
I know, it's great. That's why it's good. And the thing is, it knows it's black 60s Batman.
Yeah.
Because that's a 60s Batman joke.
Yeah, just as black comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
I have gone from hating Barbara and wanting her to die to sort of imagining myself watching, if you were to spin this off, a Barbara detective show. Because her going out and trying to solve something is just great.
Yeah. I still really want to be the Joker for this universe.
Yeah, you're real on about that. I mean, that's not what they're gonna do.
Because Gordon is the Batman of this universe.
Yeah.
She should be the Joker.
Yeah, but he's not anymore.
Well, we'll see.
They are inching him more toward being real Jim Gordon now.
Yeah.
So, let's get into for a second the Butch and Riddler stuff. That didn't go where I thought it was going to.
No. Well, a little bit, but not exactly.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because
I mean, scene by scene, I think it's starting to go a different way. But like my overall, when this episode started, what I thought was going to happen.
You figured I figured by the end, Riddler would know that it was Penguin who killed him.
And we don't know if he knows.
He doesn't know yet, but he's about to.
Yeah.
There's no way he gets through the first 20 minutes of the next episode and doesn't find out.
Right. And the next episode could open with him knowing. We're not sure. He leaves and is like, wait a second, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
There's only one other possible answer, and everybody else is figuring it out.
Yeah. Oh, when Barbara has the answer, it's great because Butch is concerned about Tabitha, and he's got this real sad, concerned look for his girlfriend who's lost a hand, and she's just like, I know who did it.
I have gotten to this place where the things I would think that at one time would bother me and make me squirm don't, because I've gotten desensitized.
But you did squirm this episode.
But things I would not think would faze me drive me insane. So when we go to the Reanimator place, I'm like, whatever, I've seen that before.
Eric made me watch Reanimator. I'm ready for this.
But also Gotham.
Yeah.
Once you've seen Fish Mooney step on her own eye, nothing. And I was not surprised once we got to the setup, because first of all, I thought Butch would probably die, and that doesn't happen.
I did too. Especially as she's playing it.
I thought there was a good chance, and I thought both those actors did a really good job in that scene.
I agree.
And Riddler too. I mean, I was surprised not to find that whole thing tedious.
Yeah, it wasn't at all.
It
was always kind of fun when we jumped back to him.
Yeah, fun. I mean, it's a real black comedy show.
I had fun.
But when he... I mean, I love, the mini guillotine and all of that.
Oh, the mini guillotine, and he's like, I made it myself. And I was like, well, it's a mini guillotine. You could have bought one. But I guess it's because it's tied up to the thing.
Once he gets to the sadistic choice part, pretty decent sadistic choice.
Absolutely. And
as
what
I thought
was
watching
happen,
it's pretty Saw-ish, but I liked it.
Well, and what I thought was going to happen was
reminded me of Riddler in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Some of the you haven't played those, but
I played a little bit.
Some of the traps that he.
Well, and I thought that Barbara was going to show up and stop it, and we weren't going to have the sadistic choice. This is the second time this season we've done a sadistic choice, and we went through with it. Well, I mean, we actually did a couple of times with Mad Hatter, but the big one, where you actually have to choose between shooting two people you care about. We went through with it, and not the way I thought we were going to go.
But once we had, but that's where we differ, because once we had,
I guess we went the safer way.
Arm guillotine, I kind of expected it to go that way.
Because
at
Butch
that
doesn't
point.
have a hand.
So like I said, I thought Butch would die until we got to that part, and then I was like, okay, she's losing a hand. There's no way around
it.
But
then she starts playing it, and I'm like, oh, she doesn't actually care about him that much. I thought we were going to go to a... this world's kind of bleak
But at that point, I decided that they were trying to fake us out, and that's exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
But like you said, he's missing a hand, and they love dismemberment in this show.
And now it's somehow romantic that they're both going to be missing a hand. They can hold fake hands. Because if you noticed, Is
she going to also get, a mallet?
I hope so.
And I hope so, too.
But if you noticed, it's his left hand and her right hand, so they can actually hold fake hands walking
great.
somewhere. Yeah, no, that's
great.
gotta
I didn't
happen.
think of that. No, of course it is. And they'll play it for really disturbing romance.
Yeah,
which you'll get the bombastic music and it's great. I really liked that moment when he was like, "It's okay that you don't love me.
Because I love you, and for a guy like me, that's enough."
Yeah, when she says, that's really sweet. But the way they played that was kind of they were trying to fake us out over and over again.
Yeah.
Because she goes, "You know what, Butch?" And that's the thing you say before you kill someone.
Yeah, you're sweet, and then you're waiting for the button. There is no button.
Then there is no, and the button doesn't get pressed.
And she plays it well.
Yeah.
There's no point in that where I'm like, oh man, come on. No, she plays it really well.
I don't like her.
Not usually.
That might end up being kind of fun. And you know what's interesting about it? It's the forbidden love that Riddler's not going to have, or that Penguin's not going to have.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
I mean that's
those are the two characters.
Doing that, right?
A couple episodes, those are the two characters that we were like, all right, just write them out already.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know how excited I am to see much of that moving forward, but the immediate aftermath might be fun.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here talking about a thing I should have hated and did not hate it.
When we go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And the woman's like, "Ma'am, you're going to have to sit down," and Barbara just holds up the hand in the bag.
Ice.
Which, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, do not put, if you lose a limb, do not put it on ice. Mm-hmm. It kills the nerves.
Right.
Don't do it. I know we do it on TV, don't do it. She did it.
Well, that's a good point. Is she going to get her hand grafted back onto
No, because she put it in ice and it kills the nerves.
No, I know, but in the show, they do wrong science all the time. But in the show, we're assuming it'll be a stump. It might not be a stump.
Yeah.
She might actually get her real hand back on. But they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Because that's that weird, bizarre romance.
And it will also feel like a cheat and easy if she actually gets her hand reattached.
Yeah, but usually in a thing like this, if you still have the limb goes back on. So
yeah, but that feels easy. I don't like that. That's not twisted enough for the show. That's too easy.
When we had the same problem with Luke Cage, we were like, how do you not lose your arm?
Yeah.
In the comics, you lose your arm.
Yeah.
With Misty Knight.
Don't move your arm too much. You'll get an infection. I'm fine.
You got any ice?
Is there anything else we want to say about this? Penguin's still great. He's only in a couple of scenes, but he's still good. The maid that has up to this point never spoken English. She's kind of fun.
She was kind of fun
with Barbara.
And once again, juggling the character count really well.
Yeah.
Really surprising. I loved Bullock so much in this episode.
Yeah.
Bullock is the police captain. I've been calling it all season.
Great.
We're already there. He's acting captain. I hope he gets to be full captain. I hope he gets commissioned pretty quick. But I don't know if that'll happen. I kind of see somebody else getting brought in.
Wait, but because before we jump over that stuff, I want to talk about the maid for just a second.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry.
What I'm really impressed by with the maid,
is
for a couple of episodes we have been setting this up. What just happened? We set up. She doesn't speak. Penguin thinks she doesn't speak English. Then he tells her and only her that he loves Riddler because she doesn't speak English. She's not going to be able to respond. This is a thing we have been.
Yeah, and somehow or other I wasn't really paying that much attention to that stuff. Yeah.
No, we have built to this moment. in a way of like we had things figured out and we're seeding things, we pay them off like writers. It's amazing.
My favorite Bullock exchange of the season so far, toward the beginning of this, Gordon, so a Bullock says that somebody killed a cat, somebody shot a cat.
Oh, yes.
And
no, because he says, well, I have seniority. And Gordon says, well, what about so-and-so? He goes, he shot a cat.
Yeah.
And then Gordon says,
was it on purpose? It doesn't matter! Oh boy, that was great.
That's not my favorite Bullock this episode.
But I thought that was so funny.
It's really funny.
But the runner-up that's probably your favorite, the bit toward the end where he starts acting like Barnes and then isn't going to act like Barnes,
where he's like,
that.
I could be captain, I could do this, I could do this. I could call out I could call out detectives for going in without backup to deal with an assassination. See? Like that. Like how was that?
And then he goes, great. And then he goes, that was a pretty good move. Good job. Yeah, that was so much fun. That was great.
Oh, I really want...
But he's competent.
Yeah. He's...
we finally found a place for him again. I mean, I've been waiting for him to become the police captain because he's always great when he's on screen. When was the last time anything was about him?
Yeah.
I mean, where is our beginning of second season? He's left the force and he's drinking a lot and we haven't done anything with him in a long time.
And I'm excited.
He's just been the sidekick. Not even the sidekick.
He just shows up and has a couple funny lines every episode.
That's it.
No, and we have places to take him and him and Gordon's relationship again. They're in a different place. Oh, no, I'm really excited for the Bullock stuff. He could spin off. I mean, he had a show called Terriers that was basically him as Bullock, but we could have a Bullock show outside of Gotham. Oh man, how great would that be? Like Marvel keeps trying to push all these shows that no one wants out of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next season we just get Bullock.
I think it would be really fun. I don't think I've ever really seen this. Maybe something has done this and I'm not thinking of it or aware of it, but if you weren't actually putting Bullock in a place where we could start doing things with him again, I could almost see a spin-off where he doesn't leave Gotham and it's just where he is right now, just all the stuff he's been doing. In the interim... wouldn't that be an interesting thing to do with a show? Where it's not even a prequel thing, it's in real time.
Yeah, it weaves in between the...
He's actually in this show, and maybe even in most of the episodes, but he also has his own show, we can see what the heck he's been doing.
Well, I mean, scheduling-wise, that would never happen.
Oh, no, of course not, but wouldn't it be great?
Yeah,
if you somehow could.
We could do one of them 24 season whatever TV movies in between seasons, which is what Bullock's been doing over the summer.
Yeah,
how Bullock spent his summer vacation.
One of those webisode things, probably, right?
Yeah.
Although, when was the last time you saw any of that besides Vixen?
Yeah. I don't know. So on to what is probably the main plot, the A plot, the.
I'm not even willing to say that anymore with the show. I think we just have a few important stories. But go ahead.
With the Penguin stuff.
Yeah.
We were real excited to get Penguin to mayor.
Yeah.
Haven't done anything with that.
What's he been doing? Yeah. He's been hanging out in his big house.
Fixated on Edward.
Can I mention the camera angle that I loved? There's the toward the beginning he gets a bunch of I don't know if they're even crime bosses or who they are.
He says that they're the leaders of the 5 families. They're mob bosses.
That's right. I couldn't remember. Yep. Okay, so we get the mob bosses all in a room, and it is shot, and the way the camera pans back or pans forward, it is exactly the shot.
It's across the table and it up.
Yes, it's exactly the shot, or pretty close. And I don't know if we did this on purpose, but I imagine we did to the 89 bit after Jack Napier takes over, the Joker takes over after he kills Jack Palance's character.
Yeah.
Just before I'm Glad You're Dead.
Yeah. And no one dies in that scene.
Yeah.
And
guns are cocked.
That's true.
And what's with that guy in the background who just waits till the last minute to finally cock his gun?
Well, what I imagine is he pulled out his gun, they're all standing there, and he looks and he's like, oh man, it's not cocked. And then he cocks it. That's the only thing that could have happened. Now,
yeah, but they made it a dramatic thing where it's and there's another guy doing it too!
We're serious!
What I would have done with that is I would have focused on him before, and then going back to him, I would have had him put away a gun and pull up a much larger gun.
I mean, this is all we've done with Penguin since he's become mayor is we keep doing crime stuff. Because this opens with him saying, okay, so the police commissioner, the police captain is in Arkham. Everyone's probably feeling really scared. 50% up on all of our, what is that called in the mob? Does that security?
Yeah.
Whatever. That's all we've seen him do is deal with mob stuff. He's still a crime boss.
Yeah.
But we made him mayor.
He's also running the city. But not
Maybe?
really. Yeah.
He doesn't seem to care about that.
I really like that Barbara comes in that scene because that is setting up and foreshadowing a big rivalry they're going to have later, which I was not really seeing that coming. And then at the end, she is poised to go to war with him.
Yeah, or have people go to war with him.
Yeah.
Because that's what she says.
She's right. She wants to incite war with,
Which could be really cool.
He could. They found things for her to do, too. I mean,
they did.
They're taking characters that did not have a place before.
And they're doing interesting things with them.
Leslie Tompkins is not one of them.
We'll get to Leslie Tompkins.
Okay, anyway, so I guess we... I guess we have to, where are we at right now? We have to talk about the Mario thing.
Yeah. He's got the Alice in him.
Yep. So I picked that up, yeah. And I wasn't sure if I was right about it, but toward the beginning, he's like, oh, wait, there's a cure?
Yeah, she... the three of them are having dinner.
And I was like, something's going on with that guy. Remember I looked at you. Yeah. I'm suspicious of him.
Yeah, it's Leslie, Mario, and...
You were suspicious of the Meter D, but...
I'm still not convinced he's not coming back. It's Leslie, Mario, and Falcone.
Yeah.
And they're having dinner, and she's just kind of talking about like what she's been doing at work, and she's like, oh yeah, well it'll be easy, because they're talking about Barnes, and she's like, well, hopefully it won't take too long because we have a cure now, or we've just synthesized a cure.
One,
and then Mario's real interested. He's like, wait, there's a cure.
Mm-hmm. And then later on we find out that he's got it in him. I don't know how he got it.
I don't know when that happened. Now, if it happened and we didn't, if it is cleverly put in, I'll be impressed with that.
Me
if
too.
There's a point where it really clearly could have happened and we just didn't pick up on it, and then they go back and like, well, you remember where like Mario's doing this and the blood's right there, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess he could have.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember, because I mean he's a surgeon, right?
Mm.
And I'm trying to remember if he's ever been around that blood in any way.
I don't know.
I'm forgetting. Somebody leave a comment for something I'm forgetting. Is it possible that Barnes is in some way contagious?
There's a lot of other characters we'll get before Mario did.
I would think so too, but maybe like in some other... But I'm saying in some way contagious, not like just being in the same room.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be airborne. It wouldn't be anything like that. But I don't know how he got it.
Yeah. I mean, Mario
and he can't have had it longer than Barnes, I don't think.
I don't think so. Well, it seems like it's just...
He's starting to just manifest.
He's in the early stages like Barnes used to be. Was earlier.
Yeah, and he gets to the place Barnes got to like 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where
it's
taking over him. He hasn't surrendered to the voices yet, but it's kind of starting.
And again, I really like that it does the same thing to him, but in his head, it's about whatever he's most on about.
Although
it's the obvious thing to do.
Well, and here's the thing: is that
it's jealousy.
She does go to Gordon, and she is still in love with Gordon, and she kisses him, and then he walks out. And in anything else, maybe either he sees them kissing and gets enraged, or he sees her leaving when nothing happened and assumes it did.
Well, and you say anything else, though? I mean, we've done that scenario at least 5 times in this show.
Well, it's weird to do it this way, where he didn't see them do something, but he didn't see them not do something. Like, it should either be he didn't see them do something because they didn't, and he's enraged because he thinks they might have, or he does in fact see them do it, and he's enraged because it happened. It's weird to do it the way they did it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It feels like it should be one or the other, right? Like, he should be angry because nothing happened, or he should be angry
I guess
because
I
he knows
didn't even
something
really
happened.
100% pick up on what he was freaking out about at the end.
It's because she leaves his apartment. It's because she leaves
Oh, is
Gordon's
that
apartment.
what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was unrelated, because I was like, what does the guy that you're attacking have anything to do with Leslie Tompkins?
I don't think those guys are saying what we're hearing. We're hearing what he's hearing, which is, she doesn't love you, she loves him.
Yeah.
And he's thinking that because he's watching her leave Gordon's apartment.
And we use that excuse for him to kill somebody, yeah.
Yeah, but again, like, it's weird. It should be him overreacting because nothing happened, or he should see that something happened. I don't know, it's weird. But,
I did not pick up on his seeing her leave.
Yeah.
Which I should have, because of what she was wearing.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah. So I used to think there was only one penguin in the show. Now there are two. Or there were. Here's the thing. Part of the reason this is so funny is because I have been saying for the last 2 episodes, Leslie Tompkins, holy crap, get decent fashion sense.
Yeah, you have no fashion sense.
In last episode, we laughed about the stupid red dress.
Yeah.
Remember the plastic red dress?
Yeah, the one that you wrapped.
Yeah. That looked like I wrapped a present.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to wrap a present like that this year.
Yeah.
For Christmas.
And I was excited because you're going to get me a girl for Christmas.
Yeah, right. I said a girl shaped, they got real awkward, they got real quiet for a minute. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode, there's at least 1 or 2 other places before that.
She has this, like...
She still can't dress herself.
She has this, like, streetwalker leopard print.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And look, I know that this show, the fashions are all over the place, and it's really heightened, and it's super stylistic and out there, and it's out of time, and people get away with wearing all kinds of crazy things, and I usually love all that. But for whatever reason...
She's not dressing period. She's not dressing, like, up. It's not extravagant.
It's tacky by... I think anybody's standards, and most people's standards, and I don't get it. I don't know where it's coming, and I don't feel like she was always like, or maybe I just didn't notice it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then we get to the end, and she walks in, and it's a close-up on her head, and I said, once again, Leslie Tompkins, holy crap, fashion sense. I'm talking about the possum that she put on her head and then combed. She's got this really weird hairdo, and I'm just like, that looks stupid. And then the shot changes, and I'm still on about the hair, and he loses his mind. And we're on our way. He's on his way to losing his mind because we still don't see the full blown. And then when it backs off, she's a penguin.
She's got this jacket, and she stands like this. Her arms don't touch her side.
She wouldn't be able to get him around herself.
She looks like Chris Farley, like the fat guy in the little coat. Like she's like this, and they're having this dramatic scene, and we keep cutting to her. And she looks like this. I didn't get any dialogue in that scene. I know they kiss at the end.
I'm sorry, we were not paying attention.
Because every time it cuts to her, she's like this. She's like fat guy in a little coat.
We were trying to. I mean, it took us 3 minutes. As soon as we finally,
you saw us lose it at the beginning of this just thinking about it.
As soon as we figured out how to contain ourselves, we were thinking. We were talking about it. And we were like, well, maybe
she's pregnant.
She's got pregnant,
and so we're dressing her in layers.
Yeah, but I feel like we had shots of her before, where you saw her from the front.
Well, but
it wasn't bulky
so
like that.
The dress she was wearing was a big dress. And then and she's wearing a jacket at the beginning, and then this is just like it's like a burqa. It's like a big coat.
You're talking about the red dress?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, though. Like, at the bottom, maybe it was, but, like, I don't think it jets out in the middle.
I thought it was, like, big, like, the whole way up.
And I don't usually talk this much about costuming, but good God, it's distracting as hell.
Yeah, no. If they're not trying to hide that she's pregnant, someone needs to be fired.
Why is she in like a half parka? It's bizarre.
It's insane.
It was the silliest thing. We just could not.
And there's a scene where someone holds a hand in a bag up to the screen. It's still the silliest thing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the reason that we couldn't stop laughing about it was because they kept cutting to the exact same shot.
Yeah, and she just looked like this.
And it was, now this is a place, as we said, where we're laughing at it before we're laughing with it, but the unintentional comedic timing is genius.
It's like they knew.
It's like they knew.
There was something.
Oh, I want to go watch that scene again and not to figure out what the dialogue is.
We should We should show it to like Sarah and see if she laughs and thinks it's funny.
Yeah,
it's just us.
Yeah, but there's no way that we could. We're gonna turn the scene on and leave the room, because I don't think we could show her that scene without her immediately knowing what she's supposed to be laughing at.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a camera on you and see if you laugh.
We skipped because we wanted to get to the code.
Yeah.
We skipped. Falcone's back in the game.
Yep.
Because of the Court of the Owls, we find out that he worked under the Court of the Owls. Like when he was running the city, he was still working under the.
We learned some stuff there.
And we get a scene
in Indian Hill,
and we get a scene that made you squeamish.
Yeah.
He takes a knife. So they have this guy in custody. It's one of the guys that tried to kill his son.
Well, it's great to see Falcone do his own dirty work again.
Mm-hmm. And so
I always liked him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited to have him back.
I agree.
Even if it means having to deal with Mario. But Mario can't be around very long. He's got the blood, unless we cure it with him, which could happen.
I don't like that. So he goes in the interrogation room with this suspect, and he immediately just takes out a knife and sticks it in his mouth.
Hoo boy! Yeah.
And he pops out his tooth, and it's a Court of the Owl's tooth. Or a talon tooth, or whatever.
We cut a girl's hand off.
And then she holds up the stump.
We zoomed in on the hand. It
in the
twitched.
bag?
No, I mean on the floor.
Oh yeah.
It twitched. We had it in a bag. None of that. He gets the knife in the mouth, and I'm out. I was just like, oh, and like this show doesn't usually bother me like that.
We had one of those a couple episodes ago. We were like, it was really effective. There was another one.
Yeah, and this was really effective too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because he takes the knife out, and you're like, oh, he's going to intimidate him, and then he just sticks it in his mouth.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh, boy.
I liked it. It was effective.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. I liked it for that reason, too.
Yeah.
I think I have a thing with mouths, too. I don't know.
Oh, like my thing with eyes.
Yeah.
There was something else that I was like, we didn't... Oh! We have to talk about the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yes! Thank you! Thank you! The Mortal Kombat is important. Okay, so, the Talon... With the Kato Talon.
Yeah, the Kato Talon.
And that car reminded me a little bit of their car, so I was like, this is the origin for Kato getting the car, and then I guess he'll go find Green Hornet and add him to the party. But he jumps up in the air. This was so weird.
Well, before that, he has this voice.
Yeah,
this test
we have to bring
might.
Yeah, and it's exactly that right. And he walks in. I forget what exactly he says, but you know,
he kills the guy that Bruce was just talking to, the leader of the Whispers Men.
Yeah. Oh, is that who? I forgot that's who it was.
Yeah, because he had the key.
Oh.
And he's like, give me the key.
Well, that's going to go a different place than I thought then. So, okay. So that's a way to get Bruce off the trail where he's not going to be able to do what he was about to do. And
probably.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyways.
I was distracted by Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So we get that voice, and it's very like Mr. Bronsky, your angel of death awaits.
Yes.
And which is a character I would totally be fine with the show doing.
Oh yeah, the Phantasm doing.
I would love that.
Yeah,
that'd be great. It doesn't even have to be her. I don't care.
Yeah,
but I would love to have.
You could make it a Falcone daughter.
That's a good idea. Anyway, we digress. So, So he comes in and he takes that guy out, and the way he does it is so insanely over the top, and it's just Mortal Kombat, and it's in slow mo. He jumps in the air.
He's got like a punching knife.
Yeah,
and he punches down, and we're looking essentially what's supposed to be the POV of the guy. And
some blood splatters
right under the screen, and then a little bit of blood splatters. I thought there should have been more blood to make it even more over the top, because we just stabbed the screen.
And he was like, but I think some of it comes on the camera lens, which is
there's a little bit. I wanted a lot on the camera lens. I wanted more on the camera lens.
And then he says Mortal Kombat, and he's like, you should have said fatality. And I was like, he has the announcer voice for Mortal Kombat. Yeah. He should have come down and had his own voice and been like, he kicks him and then he's like, finish him, and then like he says finish him himself. And then I said, this show should have its own Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
There's already a DC Mortal Kombat. It would totally fit.
And this show, you could get away with more than you did in the DC versus
Fish Mooney rips somebody's eye out and then stomps off the eyeball.
Yes!
And somehow or rather, that makes the guy drop to the floor.
Yes!
Well, God, this was fun.
You know what? You know what Penguin's fatality is, right?
Killing a man for a sandwich?
He pulls out a bazooka.
Yes!
And it's just their feet.
Well, and then like Butch has got a mallet, and maybe there's a combination you can do to change it, where it does different things, and that would be the only time you could imagine Alfred being like the most useful character.
Yeah.
Fighting game.
Yeah. Fighting game Alfred.
Yeah. No,
Oh, this needs to happen.
The sky is the limit on that. Like, there's a lot of cool. I'm going through things, and you'd have some costumes like you got Mr. Freeze,
Azrael
costume, and Azrael. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No. This should happen.
Yeah. That sounds legit.
Yeah.
You could really do something with that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, anything else you want to mention? We're coming up on an hour. There was a lot in this episode.
I don't think so. I really enjoyed watching this episode. I mean, I know you're laughing a lot because it's a really fun episode.
My reservation was, and I'm going to say this at the beginning. My reservation was, as much as I enjoyed this, I felt like as we were watching it, it was inching closer to the kind of mania we had in season 2, and I can feel it potentially going off the rails.
But I don't mind that, given that it's called Mad City, and like I think we're gonna.
But I mean, when we get to a place where it loses itself, and I don't know why I'm watching scenes again, that was my worry. It's not there yet.
No. Well, I mean, and we might get that a little bit in like the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
But it might be more of a controlled chaos. And then we'll start up the
like apparently Gotham is.
Yeah. Well, Gotham's on the brink.
Because what I need is just for it to continue to give us plot points for each of these stories, like it has been,
and they have to keep moving forward.
Yeah. That'll be enough to keep me interested. It's when I have to try to keep up with these threads when I don't even know I'm watching a scene.
Yeah.
What the point is, I haven't felt like that all season.
Nope. This season has been markedly better than both the previous seasons. This is the best season easily thus far.
Mm-hmm. And I can't say that about any other show any other multi-season show I'm watching. I mean, like where we're into several. Although there's no first season of anything I'm watching right now. So
no.
Anyway.
Well,
thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. And leave a comment if you saw this episode and tell us what you thought about it. We will see you again next week for another one. If there is one next week, I didn't look to see
I don't know
if we're on a break yet or not. But
I'm not sure.
Thanks a lot for watching, folks. I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
See you next time.